Thanks for joining us. Today, we'll be considering the theme of why some growing maintenance companies hit a ceiling at around 8 to 10 employees. We have Kai with us today. And so, Kai, what separates operator businesses from structured businesses?
Well, one's going to rely more on processes, and the other one is relying on memory, verbal updates, and they're going to be solving problems all day. The better solution, the one that's relying on those systems, the structured business, is actually going to be able to prevent a lot of problems from even happening because they have scope well documented. They have their approval process, is defined. And so as volume increases, everything flows more smoothly. And then they're also even able to see more real time visibility of how jobs are progressing and how their crews are managing.
It sounds like taking a step back and making sure your blows count really matters.
Oh, 100%. That's how a business grows.
Why might an operator business hit that ceiling at around 8 to 10 employees?
Yeah, it's because they're not able to keep up with the demand. The volume's increasing. Most of their employees are turning to them for the answers, and there isn't any sort of real structure in place to run the business. They are the system, and that just becomes too much. There's only so much one person can do, and they actually might say, I don't want my business to get bigger. I don't want to make more money at this point because that just means adding more stress to my life. And if it means running around like a chicken with your head cut off, I could understand it, right? You're stretching yourself just too thin without having good design and structures in place.
When does that growth stop feeling exciting?
So growth stops feeling exciting the exact moment that your operational complexity outpaces your business structure. So at first, it feels very validating to get more work. You're starting to grow and you feel really great about that, right? And you're super excited. But then all of a sudden, you're not just doing work, you're managing employees, you're managing larger scope projects, maybe you're handling different types of services. And so what happens is now you have scheduling conflicts, crews that you need to be updated, and you weren't there maybe for the entire project or every part of the project. So now you're trying to track down some of those details, and the result is that that growth, the opportunity that you were excited about, it actually turns into just pure pressure, and so that can really make that experience just kind of sap the joy. Here you have everything to be excited about. Your business is growing, but it's just robbed you of some of the joy of that because it's just feeling like too much work.
Yeah. So why do a lot of those businesses feel like it depends on just one person, typically the owner?
The funny thing is it always has depended on one person, but it's just being exposed more. And so at first, just having one person being the estimator, the scheduler, basically communicating everything between the office, the field, the customer, that made sense, and that works really well. But then as the team grows, now that one person who holds the answers can become a bottleneck.
So what kinds of challenges does that lead to?
Well, your crew could be waiting on your answers, meaning that they might actually be sitting in the truck or at the job site just because this scope is not clear enough. It's not documented anywhere. You're the person that holds the keys, and billing is waiting for your answers. How much are we charging? What do we charge for this? And it's you are the system that everything is dependent upon, and it slows you down and can actually become very frustrating for your team.
Yeah, it sounds like being the bottleneck as an owner would lead to stress for you and your crew.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the bottleneck.
What changes when recurring work scales?
Yeah, once you start having more and more recurring jobs, 10 becomes 20, becomes 30, then it starts to really expose any weaknesses in your systems. And it's just ruthless. It's relentless. So you might see it start to show the cracks as your scheduling gets pushed one way or the other. just one simple day can like really wreck your entire week, right? It could be rain. It could be a customer saying, "Hey, come, can you come tomorrow?" And you want to appease the customer, and you may be forced to shift because of weather. But then as that eats into other jobs, it's easy to see how very quickly you can throw off a schedule, just make it all a mess.
Can you be a little bit more specific on how things get messy?
Yes, I should be more specific. So, well, one of the big things is you might start losing your leads. You might start forgetting what was done at different sites. You may even get very specific requests, and now each and every customer, you're trying to perfect recall. You're trying to use your memory, your sticky notes, or whatever, and keep your crew updated so that they're handling each one of those customers how the customer wants the job to be done. And that gets really messy really quick. You might start having your sticky notes littering your dashboard.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be quite chaotic.
One place I've really seen a lot of it get messy is in like text message threads or WhatsApp communications, where the owner or the manager is trying to keep their team aligned on customer requests, and they're doing it in the evening or early hours of the morning while they're trying to make breakfast or while they're trying to help their kids with their homework. They're trying to answer these questions as to what the customer wants.
That sounds like something that should be the exception, not the norm.
100%.
Thanks for joining us. We discussed the theme of why some growing maintenance companies hit a ceiling at around 8 to 10 employees. Please feel free to leave your comments below and like the video if you liked the video. We'd like to invite you back next time, and we'll be discussing the theme of why most business problems are not people problems. We'll see you there.
And the camera ads, what do they say? 10
57 pounds. No.
Camera adds 57 pounds. That's what they say.